Have you ever bought a dental plan thinking it was going to pay for a crown or a root canal, and you came to find out that it didn't pay nearly as much as you thought it would? Hi, I'm Larry Goist, owner of LMS Insurance Group, where we help seniors navigate the Medicare Maze. So in today's short video, I'm telling you guys all about standalone dental plans, and I'm going to go over three real basic topics. So number one, I'm going to tell you what is the difference between being in-network and the dentist accepting the dental plan. Number two, I'm going to tell you guys about waiting periods and about plan spending limits. And then thirdly, I'm going to give you guys some good tips that you should know when you're looking to buy good dental coverage. That's all coming up next. Before I dive in, don't forget to subscribe. Definitely like our channel if you find this content helpful. I really appreciate you doing that. Okay guys, so the number one reason that your dental plan does not work the way you think it does is these two terms. So when you call your dental provider, if they say that they are in network on your dental plan, that is what you want to hear. If you call your dental provider and they say we accept the insurance, that means something completely differently. Now, whoever you're buying the insurance from should be able to tell you the difference. You should not have to call your dentist. But my point is, there is a huge difference between somebody being in network and between that dentist accepting your insurance. So you want to find dentists that are in network on your plan because those dentists have agreed to provide services at fixed costs. So you could look in your plan guide and you could see if I do a crown, the insurer is going to pay 80% of that crown. And if you're at an in-network dentist, that is exactly what they're going to pay. They're going to pay 80% of that total bill. Now, when you talk to a dentist and they say, well, we accept your insurance, well, that means they have not agreed to certain terms and conditions with the plan. So they will accept your insurance, and your insurance will pay something towards that procedure. But here's the best example I can give you. The in-network dentist might have agreed that a crown is a $500 procedure. So if your dental plan was going to pay 80% on the crown, they pay $400. They pay 80% of $500. You would be stuck with 20%. $100 would be left over. Now, that same different dentist, but same procedure. So that different dentist says, well, we accept your insurance. Well, they might charge $900 for a crown. They have not agreed to that price with the dental plan. And in that case, your dental plan is only going to pay up to the fee schedule that they would have paid an in-network dentist. So you are going to have a huge gap, and really what that means is you're going to be left with a big part of the bill because that dentist did not agree that a crown is $500. They're going to charge $900, and your plan is only going to still pay up to $400, right? What they would have paid an in-network dentist. And that is by far the number one area I see people get ripped off. And to be frank, your dentist and the people working at your dentist office, they do not make this clear to you. And it's probably because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that if you would go find an in-network dentist, that your out-of-pocket costs would be much lower. They want to perceive to you, yeah, we accept that insurance, come on in. So that you come in and you still get the work done. But if they were being honest with you, they would tell you, we are not in network. And this service might be much more affordable at an in-network provider. So the question you need to ask your salesperson or your dentist is, are you in network or do you just accept the insurance? Because those two things mean completely different things. Okay, number two is you need to be aware of any waiting period you have on your plan or your plan's spending limit, okay? So generally, not always, but generally when you buy a dental plan, they're going to put a 12-month waiting period on major services. Now, major services normally include things like crowns, root canals, dentures, implants, oral surgery. And the reason dental companies do this is because if they didn't, you would buy the plan, you'd get your crown, and you drop it the next month. So the insurer says if you want any of those major services, you're going to have to pay on the plan for 12 months before we pay a percentage. Now, a pro tip, there are dental insurance companies that will waive that waiting period for you so long as you are replacing dental insurance. Because if you are replacing a dental plan that you've already been paying on, well, you don't have the incentive to do that, right? You've already been paying on dental, so you don't have the incentive to buy the new one, get the crown, and then drop it. So you always want to check your plan to see if there's any waiting periods. And generally, the waiting periods are on major services. Now, building on that, you also need to be aware of what your plan's spending limit is. Most dental plans will pay $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000 in benefits out. And once they have exhausted that spend, once they have spent that annual limit, you are going to be on the hook for everything else that's done the rest of the year. Now, I do know of dental plans that provide $3,000, $4,000, and $5,000 allowances. I even know of a dental plan that has no limit on what it will pay annually. But you certainly want to be aware of what your plan limit is. And then after you've been on the plan 12 months, that resets. So if you had a $1,500 allowance and you exhausted it all, well, after 12 months from your start date, you'd have a new $1,500 allowance. But so far, those two things are what causes people the most frustration. They're going to dentists that accept the insurance and that are not in network, and they are not aware that they had a waiting period to get a major service done. And even if they were aware, they might not have been aware that their plan is only going to pay X amount of dollars in one calendar year. So I want to give you a few tips before you buy your dental plan. So number one is verify whether the dentist you want to go to is in network or accepts the plan. Realistically, in my opinion, I would not buy a dental plan unless my dentist was in network. I personally feel like you are just wasting money. Now, if you buy a dental plan and your dentist is in network, I absolutely recommend dental plans. I think they pay for themselves threefold if your dentist is in the network. Number two, always ask the salesperson or whoever you're working with about waiting periods, and then also ask them if there's any way to waive that waiting period. Number three, you always want to be aware of your annual limit. And to build on that, some dental plans will pay an annual limit the first year, but then it will increase after you've paid on it for 1 year. So you also want to ask about if you have a building annual limit once you've been on the plan for X amount of time. Now, if all of those things fail and you want dental coverage right now and you want a large amount, you could look into a Part C Medicare Advantage plan. Of all the Part C Medicare Advantage plans that I sell, I don't know of any that have a waiting period, and I know of dozens of Medicare Advantage plans that will pay 100% of all costs on dental with no waiting period. But just like standalone dental plans, Medicare Advantage plans that include dental will likely have an annual limit as well. So guys, to conclude, buying a dental plan is not a scam. In fact, if you do it the right way, it could save you thousands of dollars. But guys, I hope this video was helpful. I'll talk to you next time. Larry Goist, LMS Insurance Group. Thanks for watching.